not just another day. It is yet another chance for us to meet in fellowship. So good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County. Sometimes I forget where I am. I'm Kay Azar, and I am the worship associate today. I'm so pleased that we have Reverend Laura Randall with us this morning, that we will have lovely music from Jim Boyle and the choir, all carried out through the sanctuary and into the universe thanks to Corey and Tom. I am grateful to these folks for making the service happen this morning. Those of you at home might want to have your own chalices available for our chalice lighting ritual in a little bit. If you are joining us for the first time this morning or have recently returned, please stand or raise your hand as you are willing and able and tell us your name and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Susan Stewart and I'm from Englewood and Michigan.
Sweet. Hey, yeah. Oh, we have our Englewood contingent here this morning.
Can snowbirds stand up?
Sure.
Yes. Oh, yay.
Yay, Florence. Good. Anyone else back? All right. We welcome you and everyone here and at home who are joining us this morning. If you are new here or would like to learn more about our fellowship, you can email the office at uufcc.org, and there'll be another announcement later on about that. You can also visit our website. We are glad that you are here with us this morning. Our words of welcome this morning come from Reverend Tanya Yadira Marquez, ordained UU minister, spiritual director, and chaplain resident. Her ministry is influenced by her immigrant and fronteriza experience. It is a wonder and a mystery that our paths have crossed, that in the immensity of time, in the vastness of space, we coincide here. I am in awe at the ways in which our lives intersect and intertwine, at the beauty that we create when we gather. May our coming together make us more compassionate, more just, more caring, and more loving. May our hearts and minds be open to this offering. I am so glad that we have been here together. Let us worship, let us marvel at the miracle of being here right now and the mystery that has brought us together. So today is also special, for this evening starts the celebration of Hanukkah, the 8-day festival of lights. It's celebrated with a nightly menorah lighting, though in our case it's more morningly, reciting special prayers and eating fried food like latkes and sufganiyot, which are just jelly-filled donuts. Hanukkah translates to rededication in English and is so called because it celebrates the rededication of the Holy Temple after its desecration by the Syrian Greeks in the 2nd century BCE. Against all odds, a small band of faithful but poorly armed Jews led by Judah Maccabee defeated one of the mightiest armies on earth in guerrilla-style warfare. They drove the Greeks from the land and reclaimed the Holy Temple. They planned to rededicate it back to the service of God. When they sought to light the menorah, which was at that time a seven-branch candelabrum, they found most of the oil had been desecrated by the Greeks, leaving only enough pure oil that has escaped contamination, and it was enough oil for only one night. But a miracle happened, and the oil lasted for 8 days, long enough for them to prepare enough of the holy oil needed to continue. The Talmud interprets the miracle of Hanukkah not for the battles won, but for the miracle of the oil, Today we light the menorah every evening, adding another candle each night to celebrate the miracle. Eat fried foods. Yes, Jews are the only people I know of who have a celebration that involves oil and makes lots of fried food. It's good. We recite special blessings and sing songs. While originally it was a tradition to give money to children on Hanukkah, you may have heard of Hanukkah gelt. Today, parents give a present to the children each night. This morning, we're going to light our own chalice and recite the affirmation, followed by the lighting of the menorah and reciting the blessings. Alan will help with this. The chalice lighting this morning is by Reverend D.C. Fortune, minister of the UU congregation of Susquehanna Valley. We light this chalice as a symbol of our free faith. We light this chalice to remember the miracle of the oil that burned for 8 days. We light this chalice to mark the nights of midwinter. We light this chalice as we wait for the sun to return. Would you say the affirmation with me? Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. And now the blessings for the menorah. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to light the Hanukkah lights. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who performed miracles for our forefathers in those days at this time. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has granted us life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this occasion. And Alan will light the menorah.
It's not night.
Yes, go ahead and light. Go ahead and light it.
Okay.
We'll pretend it's night somewhere.
Okay.
Symbol of transformation.
And now Jim will have the prelude.
When my lights everyone.
Good morning.
It's wonderful to be with you all today, and I also wanted to introduce Octavio Jones, who's our photographer this morning, who's come with me to celebrate this wonderful occasion where we're celebrating all of you. Our opening words this morning are written by the Reverend Teresa Inez Soto. Bring your broken hallelujah here. Bring the large one that is beyond repair. Bring the small one that's too soft to share. Bring your broken hallelujah here. I know that people have told you that before you can give, you have to get yourself together. They overstated the value of perfection by a lot, or they forgot. You are the gift. We all bring some broken things, songs and dreams and long lost hopes. But here and together, we reach within. As a community, we begin again, and from the pieces, we will build something new. There is work that only you can do. We wait for you. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we sing hymn number 222 in the gray hymnal, Mi Yamael.
We have a long tradition here at UUFCC of sharing our joys, sorrows, life milestones, etc., by entering them into the Book of Life that Lynn is so graciously bringing forward. Thank you. If you're here with us in the sanctuary, the red book is at the rear of the sanctuary on the right side as you come in. And with so many people attending on YouTube, we've modified the tradition for you so you can be part of this. You can email your joys, sorrows, concerns, personal milestones to bookoflife@uufcc.org. Messages should be sent no later than Saturday prior to the service. During the Sunday morning service following the receipt of your message, the worship associate will read your words to the congregation. Now, very happy to welcome Reverend Randall on this exciting day. Happy to believe also to happy to receive our guest family. It's good to be together. Robert Moran writes, I'm grieving the death of my first wife for my kids who have lost their mother. Again, Robert. And Dave Martin writes, I have just learned that my orchestration of George Shearing's Children's Waltz will be performed by the Adelphi University Symphony on April. Congratulations, Dave. Yay. So now I will share, we will have a few moments of silent meditation followed by some musical interlude. Please stand as you are willing and able for hymn number 155, Circle Round for Freedom.
All
Please join me now in a responsive reading in your great hymnal, reading number 584. I'll read the first part, and you can, if you would do the italics, please. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
There are some things in our social system to which all of us ought to be maladjusted.
Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that.
We must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation.
A foundation of such a method is love.
Before it is too late, we must narrow the gaping chasm between our proclamations of peace and our lowly deeds which precipitate and perpetuate war.
One day we must come to see that peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal.
We must pursue peaceful ends through peaceful means.
We shall hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope.
Thanks to Martin Luther King. We're going to have a video reading this morning. It is What is CAPAS, C-A-P-A-S, and that's, I'll let Laura.
We'll be talking more about CAPAS shortly, but that stands for the Congregational Accompaniment Project for Asylum Seekers, CAPAS. UUFCC's Congregational Accompaniment Project for Asylum Seekers, or CAPAS for short, is an initiative to support communities of faith as they host and accompany migrants through the process of obtaining legal asylum. Officially launched in February 2020, the project's goal is to support congregations in sponsoring an individual or family seeking asylum in the United States. This work is a form of solidarity and resistance to our government's xenophobic immigration policies. Sponsorship includes housing migrants and accompanying them through their asylum process. The impetus for CAPAS came from retired UU minister, the Reverend Dottie Matthews, whose passion for migrant justice work led to her envisioning a sponsorship program within UU congregations, and eventually she became the volunteer CAPAS coordinator. Dottie has worked with dozens of congregations on their sponsorship journeys and shares the impact this work has.
I'm retired and thought that I would remain retired. I retired in 2015 from active ministry and moved to Missouri and began to just try to find volunteer work here. Became involved in immigrant justice things like Know Your Rights trainings and especially the sanctuary movement. So I started reaching out to congregations to say, would you have an immigrant justice team in your congregation that would want to take on sponsorship? I realized that I was getting the quickest and most solid yeses from the UU congregations that I contacted. I finally brought it to the UUSC and got help of wonderful people in the UU College of Social Justice to help finalize a handbook and make it a formal program. UUSC said, yes, let's bring it under our umbrella. We've had a ton of people step up and want to see what they could do to help in this important work. I have personally worked with probably 40 or 45 congregations as they've done some version of either full-on sponsorship of asylum seekers or intense accompaniment with people. We have become involved in the family reunifications, which is a really interesting part of CAPAS's work. As everyone knows, years ago, families who arrived at the border were often intentionally separated. The children were sent without great care to a variety of facilities. The parents were often sent back to a home country or a nearby country. Any of us can imagine what it would be like to have that kind of forced separation and what it would do for the child to be in the United States for years without their parent, either side never knowing whether they were actually going to see one another again. So there's been a lot of work by FIND people to locate both the parents in their home countries and locate where the children are, demand the government bring them back, and many of those have come back. The congregations that have stepped into that and get to go to the airport to greet the parent, you know, the hugs and the celebrations, and we know that that's just one facet of that journey, but we have several congregations around the country that are just wrapping care around those families. By the time an asylum seeker has arrived in this country, they have navigated unthinkable obstacles. Being a sponsor of asylum seekers or walking in whatever level of accompaniment they need, it is often about letting go of our expectations of right and wrong. It is very much about opening our heart and just being next to them as they let us know what they need from us. I try to just remind people of these are people of great resource. These are people of great resilience. Just looking at them with eyes of trust and love and saying, how can I help? Bringing your presence to be with them as they continue their already long and arduous journey is what this program is about.
UUFC's CAPAS program is a powerful and important way to partner with people seeking asylum. If you're interested in learning more about CAPAS or supporting UUFC programs such as CAPAS, please visit uufc.org. Thank you.
So this morning, I'm going to just not move my step stool for this. It's okay. It's a short period of time. So I am really happy to have Reverend Laura Randall here with us. She is the Director of Congregation Relations. As a member of UUFC's development team, she facilitates partnerships to strengthen the impact of UUFC and the social justice outreach of UU communities. Through preaching, teaching, relationship building, and fundraising, Laura connects the work of the UUFC to Unitarian Universalist congregations. Prior to joining the UUFC, Laura's denominational work included serving as the Legacy Campaign Director for Wake Now, Our Vision Collaborative campaign, and as the Legacy Gifts Manager for the Unitarian Universalist Association. Laura's ministry has also included hospice chaplaincy and Alzheimer's education and advocacy. She holds a graduate degree in divinity from Harvard Divinity School and an undergraduate degree in English and Communication Studies from Alfred University. Laura?
Thank you, Kay, and thank you everyone for the warm welcome this morning. It's so good to be with you all. And I'm really grateful to everyone here who has supported UUFC over the years and continues to do so as they can. I know we love acronyms in our faith, so UUFC is the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. And I'm also here to say thank you to you, UU Fellowship of Charlotte County, for being part of the CAPAS program now. Thank you for all the ways that you are living your Unitarian Universalist values out in the world. This morning, I hope to zoom out a little bit and draw connections between justice, relationship building, beloved community, and the very particular work that you are engaging in as a CAPAS congregation. For so many of us, these last few years have been an endless litany of one crisis after another, right? Hurricanes, climate force displacement, assaults on human rights, a deadly global pandemic. And I know your community has felt many of these traumas and more very acutely, with the damage to your church home and your own homes and community, and from the unexpected shifts in leadership here during the last few years. And as we continue to grapple with these events, we must remember that going back to business as usual is not an option. Not if we seek to live up to the values we espouse. A world that creates more justice, a world in which everyone's needs are met. A world that we call beloved community. This is a world built on love, a liberatory love, the kind of love that allows us to stay in the struggle until everyone is welcome, everyone is whole, everyone is free. And that is what we are being called to now in so many ways. Co-creating a beloved community that looks to partners, not saviors, that looks to justice, not the status quo, a community that reaches towards life, not harmful ideology. Dr. Cornel West reminds us that justice is what love looks like in public. And justice is central to the beloved community that we are trying to create. Justice, as it is conceived of in much of American society, is often thought of as something separate from us. An impartial system, perhaps, or an objective ideal that somehow resides outside of human bonds. In reality, though, relationship is at the core of justice. Justice is co-created between people and between communities. And that means that justice is foundational to forming the beloved community. The writer Rachel Naomi Remen describes justice work as being in service of wholeness. I love this phrase, being in service of wholeness. This idea is also found in the words of the Australian Indigenous activist Lilla Watson, when she says, "If you've come here to help me, you're wasting your time. But if you've come here because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together." Activist and author Adrienne Marie Brown speaks to this when discussing emergent strategy, the practice of looking to instances of right relations in the natural and human world and following their examples. Brown points to mutually supportive, morally grounded, and imaginative community-based solutions as the animating force and redemptive power of justice work today. It is the foundation of beloved community of life, reaching towards life. The Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, or UUSC, is also part of this journey. Founded in 1940 in response to the rise of fascism in Europe, UUSC began as a mission by a Unitarian minister and his wife, Waitstill and Martha Sharp, who traveled to Prague in order to do what they could to get as many Jews and political dissidents being targeted by the Nazis to safety. As the years went on, the Unitarian Service Committee, which later became the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, expanded its global work, sending aid to places around the world facing humanitarian crises. Over time, our human rights work began to focus more on systemic justice issues, shifting to a model of partnership with grassroots organizations led by those most affected by injustice. Today, our work focuses on climate-forced displacement, crisis response, and migrant justice. And while these initiatives may seem unrelated at first glance, they are at their core all interconnected, right? These issues are about the right to security within our homes, the right to restore our homes when they're ravaged by natural or human-made crises, and the right to seek new homes elsewhere. It is this last right, the human right to migrate, the right to seek asylum, that inspired UUSC to create the program called the Congregational Accompaniment Project for Asylum Seekers, or CAPAS. This collaborative accompaniment program is a profound way to journey with and shelter people who are somewhere in the asylum process. Anti-immigration rhetoric, cruel enforcement policies, and the near complete dismantling of the U.S. asylum process has been escalating in recent years, but this is in no way a new phenomenon. Our country makes it nearly impossible to migrate here safely or legally. Those who do manage to enter into the asylum process in the United States, a process which often takes years, must navigate a complicated, contradictory, and challenging bureaucracy. People with pending asylum claims must find a way to survive, yet are prevented from working legally for at least 7 months in the United States or collecting any public benefits. This makes survival basically impossible without community support. The immigration policies of the United States are cowardly, hard-hearted, and small-minded. Within this context of immigration injustice in our country, many people, both within and beyond migrant communities, have looked to new ways to change this system, to act as neighbors instead of enemies, to affirm a truth that could not be more clear: we are all connected. No matter who you are or what side of an invented border you were born on, we are all connected. This is where accompaniment comes in. This is where you come in. All over the country, neighbors and friends have created networks to accompany migrants to immigration hearings, legal and medical appointments, and check-ins with ICE, which stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And one of these networks is the CAPAS program. Congregational sponsorship means that a group within a faith community makes a commitment together to support a family that is seeking asylum in the United States. These congregational teams offer emotional care and comfort in times of stress and fear. They provide for transportation and translation services. They assist in finding legal services and help the asylum-seeking family find secure housing. I realize I'm saying they when I should be saying you. You are offering care, community connection, and the means of survival for Saranjel and her kids. You have decided to take action and live your faith in this profound way. In all of its forms, accompaniment is an invitation to witness, to listen, to show up. It is the practice of being human together in the face of extremely dehumanizing systems and circumstances. For those of us who've been through it lately, and we've all been through it lately, but your congregation especially so, it is so important to remember that community care is medicine. What a beautiful and vital truth to remember, that when we have been traumatized, reaching out to help someone else who has also been through trauma can be healing for all involved. It is a path to wholeness, the way in which we act for a more liberated future for all. A liberated future that we could call the beloved community. Beloved community is joy-filled, imperfect, challenging, and flexible. It is life reaching towards life. But before we can build the beloved community, we have to be able to imagine it. We have to move from a place of reaction to creation. Another gem of wisdom that Adrienne Marie Brown offers is that if we are not organized toward what we really want and long for, We will always settle for just reacting and trying to stop something bad from happening. I can certainly resonate with that feeling of always needing to react against something bad, while at the same time understanding on a cellular level how frustrating and demoralizing that can be. Maybe some of you have experienced this as well. If we want to do our justice work more effectively and faithfully, we have to have a vision of the world we want, not just the world we don't want. So this is what I'm going to invite us to do now. To start imagining what the beloved community actually looks like and feels like. To practice being there in our entirety. This will be a brief visioning practice. If you've ever done guided meditation, this will be familiar to you. So I ask that you take a deep breath. Settle your body into a comfortable position. Maybe that means grounding your feet on the floor like the roots of a great tree. Maybe that means relaxing your head and letting your chin dip down a little bit so your head is closer to your heart. Maybe that means leaning your head back as if your head is in the clouds. Maybe that means something different for you. If you're comfortable doing so, I ask you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take another deep breath in. And as you release that breath, notice your muscles. Are they clenched from worry? Take another breath, and as you release that breath, try to soften those muscles. Keep breathing. Now, in this more relaxed state, imagine that we've made it. We are home. We are in the beloved community where there is no war, no poverty, no borders, and no prisons. Bring yourself into that future when we have arrived and we are together in that beloved community. Notice the senses that are being activated for you. They may be different for each of us. But what do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? What can you feel? Who is there with you? What are we doing together? Take a deep breath in as you continue to notice these sensations. And slowly breathe that out. And as we slowly come back to the present, take a moment to notice how your time in beloved community made you feel. Did something stick with you in particular? A sound, an image, a scent? My colleague, Heather Vickery, taught me this practice. And it's had a profound impact both on my ability to stay in this work for the long haul and also how I do the work right now. I'm sure you know as well as I do that it's a lot easier being the person you want to be in the world when you are filled with peace and possibility rather than frustration and fear. When I imagine the beloved community, what I experience is a community garden. Toward the end of summer, when the squash and the peppers are blushing with their final colors and are almost ready to eat, the air has that good, rich scent of earth that has been baking in the sun after a drenching morning rainstorm. Neighbors talk or hum as we busy ourselves with weeding and pruning, already talking about a bigger garden next year. With even more raised beds, these ones high enough for someone in a chair to tend to the plants from a seated position. As I'm brought back to that place, I know that the food we are growing tastes like the joy of knowing that no one is hungry. That the laughter I hear sounds like true liberation, the type of laughter that can only be heard when no one is in danger. That the people I'm with feel like home because I know everyone else in the world has shelter. Just talking about this with you now fills me with a sense of well-being. I miss that world, even though I've never physically been there. When I'm struggling with all the injustices in the world and feeling overwhelmed and like I have to respond to all of them or feel like nothing I do will ever make a real difference, I go back to that place. I let it wash over me and I ask myself, what will get us closer to that world? How am I different when I'm in that place, and how can I start living that way in the here and now? What is my work to do? The work that combines my passions and my skills that gets us closer to the beloved community. So now I ask all of you, how will you get to your vision of the beloved community? This is a question to ask yourself as an individual and also to ask yourself as a congregation. What is your collective vision for the beloved community, UU Fellowship of Charlotte County? What does your mosaic of dreams look like? And how will you together get to that vision of the beloved community? And then what will you do to make that vision even larger? You, friends, our faith's newest Kappas congregation, which tells me that part of your vision of a beloved community includes accompanying a family on the journey to asylum. You've chosen to offer radical welcome, to materially and substantially include a family who has no choice but to rely on the compassion of strangers. You have chosen to wrap them in care, to honor their agency, to celebrate their humanity and journey beside them in this critical and tender time. It won't always be an easy journey, but it can be a transformative one. As Chase Strango, the ACLU Deputy Director for Transgender Justice, says, if everything needs to be perfectly packaged, we are never going to be okay with the reality that we are these really complex, messy, uncertain beings. The more we can embrace that, the more I think we can actually transform things. Accompanying someone through the asylum process has the power to transform what beloved community means for everyone involved. We are linked together in this work, friends, both because of our shared Unitarian Universalist values and because of your choice to offer shelter and material aid to our neighbors seeking asylum through the Kappas program. Being in solidarity with and sharing resources with those seeking asylum is a tangible way to say yes to justice, yes to community, yes to that which affirms life. This is one of the countless ways we become the beloved community, even as we seek to create it. We each have a role to play in its creation, each of us bringing our broken, growing selves in service to wholeness. Recognizing that your liberation is bound up with mine and that no one is free until everyone is free. Thank you for joining in this visioning experience today. And thank you for being our newest Kappas congregation with your welcome of Sir Angel and her children. Through this work, you are living your Unitarian Universalist values in the world, and you're offering a model to others. This kind of solidarity matters. So thank you, UU Fellowship of Charlotte County, faithful justice lovers, for being part of this work. If you're not yet involved personally in supporting this family, know that you will definitely have something to offer and your gifts are needed. There will be many here after the service who can share what is needed right now and what will be needed in the future. And to conclude, I want to share with you a powerful blessing created by that poet, activist, and teacher, Adrienne Marie Brown. Brown encourages us to say these words upon meeting a stranger, comrade, or friend working for justice and liberation. So I'm going to ask you once more to take a breath that feels good for your body and close your eyes or soften your gaze if that's comfortable for you. I invite you to bring to mind someone who you don't know very well yet, but you do know that they have been through some hard times. You haven't been through these same hard times yourself, but you know the weight of trauma. You have this in common. Imagine saying these words to them, and imagine them too saying them back to you. You are a miracle walking. I greet you with wonder in a world which seeks to own your joy and your imagination. You have chosen to be free every day as a practice. I can never know the struggles you went through to get here, but I know you have swum upstream, and at times it has been lonely. I want you to know I honor the choices you made in solitude, and I honor the work you've done to belong. I honor your commitment to that which is larger than yourself. I honor your journey to love the particular container of life that is you. You are enough. Your work is enough. You are needed. Your work is sacred. You are here, and I am grateful. Thank you, friends. Amen. And blessed be.
Thank you, Laura. And this religious community exists by its mission as a fire exists by burning. But a fire cannot burn without fuel. And it is the time, the energy, the imagination, the vision, the creativity, the compassion, the love, and the financial support of members and friends of this community that fuels our mission in order to nurture and sustain a welcoming, inclusive, and diverse liberal religious community that transforms lives and serves the world. Your support and the free and generous support of each and every member and friend of this community is what fuels the mission. Without support, the flame of justice, community, and love cannot burn brightly to warm ourselves or be a beacon in a world threatened by division and fear. Words are by John Saxon. So the ushers will come forward to take the offering, and while that is happening, we'll have a music video, Keep on Moving Forward by Emma's Revolution.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Sigamos adelante, siempre adelante, siempre adelante, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Amaremos con pasión. Siempre con pasión. Siempre con pasión, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás. Gonna reach across our borders, reach across our borders, reach across our borders. Never turning back, never turning back. Vivamos sin fronteras, siempre sin fronteras, siempre sin fronteras, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás. Gonna reunite the family, reunite the family, reunite the family. Never turning back, never turning back. Familias reunidas, siempre reunidas, siempre reunidas, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás. Gonna keep on moving forward, keep on moving forward, keep on moving forward, never turning back, 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 never turning back.
Peace.
We love you.
Now for the life of the community. We exist on many planes, and one of them is what is going on in our community these days. If you haven't gotten one of these already, Laura has some. Oh, they're in the basket in the back. They can be put on the tree, on either tree, and you can write something on them that you wish for the coming year, or your family, or yourself. This is what I made an allusion to earlier. For anyone interested in learning more about the UU and or membership, see Jackie. Jackie, stand up. I can't see you behind the piano. We'll have an informal breakfast on a Saturday in January to learn more about us and Unitarian Universalism. And Laura. I knew there was one more person.
Thank you. So I mentioned that you are our newest Kappas congregation. You are also the first Kappas congregation to be awarded a matching donation from the Dottie Matthews Congregation Action Fund. You saw Dottie in the video. She was the founder of Kappas and the reason we are able to do this work at UUSC. So I created this certificate of recognition for you, honoring the incredible work you've already done to support this family, and we are so glad that we were able to offer some matching funds to support this work that you are doing as well. So thank you all so much.
Having no more known announcements.
Christmas Eve service at 5:30.
Christmas Eve service is at 5:30. The choir has some fabulous music to sing to you and with you. Please join us. We extinguish the chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May those ideals shine in our lives and warm our hearts until we are together again. Go now in peace. Thank you. Please join us for refreshments and to meet Sorange out in the.
Yes, please stay. Sarangel and her kids are going to be here to meet all of you, and we're going to have snacks and conversation, and I'll be around too if you have questions.
Thank you.